Let's go to Republican Party of Virginia Chairman John Whitbeck. Mr. Chairman, good to have you.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Wow, a lot happened in 24 hours.
Yeah, boy, I tell you, it's not like anybody can give me an easy time managing it, can they? Gosh, one thing after another. But I do want to say before we talk any further, Tom Garrett, I've known him a while, and tremendous amount of courage, tremendous amount of, just incredible integrity to admit when you have an issue, come out, put your family first, do the stand-up thing, act like a man. Just really can't say enough good things about Congressman Garrett, and we wish him all the best and hope he has a speedy recovery, and I know he'll be back strong.
Well, Tom's a friend of mine. He's an FOJ friend of John. He's one of my favorite people in the world, and I love him to death. And I really thought the hit piece that Politico did on him was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. But, John, is how this town works. If they don't like you, they'll get their friends in the media to do a hit piece and destroy your world. And whatever issues Tom had, I've been in his company in a business environment, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of times. I never saw him as an alcoholic. Yeah, he would like to go out and have a few drinks, but I've been in his office. I've been in his home. He's on my radio show every single week. I've never seen him any hint of alcoholism during working hours. So, look, whatever's going on, I wish him the best, but he was a tremendous asset, and it's a loss for America. Because, look, whether you liked him or not, John, he got on the airwaves every week, and he told you the truth. He told you exactly what was going on. That makes him a threat to the swamp. They don't want anybody to know what is going on there. And so, they took him out, and it stinks.
Well, and I, one of the things that troubled me about it too was, there were a lot of, I'll call them leaks because I'm not sure how else to describe them, but there were a lot of things that got out there from anonymous sources, from staff members. I mean, obviously these were Republicans, and I wish people would have the courage to go on the record. If you've got something to say about anybody, from the White House on down to Congress, even in the party, this anonymous source journalism is a plague on our society right now, when nobody has the gall to stand up and say it was me, I said it. And it's really something scary to see that journalism is deteriorating into nothing but anonymous sources, and we need to fight back on that.
Well, I grew up in the business in journalism, as you know, and this anonymous thing is all new. I mean, you had to have like 2 sources on the record for every anonymous source that you had back in the day when real reporting mattered. Now it's about hit pieces. John, it's all about clicks. I mean, it's all about money. All you have to do is follow the money. All these networks are interested in, or website, they get paid by the click. So if they can put out a salacious piece and people click it, everybody makes money, right? Even in some of these places, the authors, the writers, part of their compensation is generated by click, because that serves up the ads that pays the company money. So it's all about clicking on stuff. And so it's all about money and who's getting what, and everybody's got their little friends in there. But this piece by Politico I thought was really gross. And to have no people on the record, I mean, these could have been 4 interns. I mean, John, do you remember back in the day when you interned like I did? Remember, as an intern? I mean, I can't tell you what I did as an intern. Right? You got the coffee, you swept the floor, you did whatever you had to do. You were an intern.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I don't, certainly nobody, you and I are not condoning, staff members being misused, of course, but as an intern, yeah, I mean, you were kind of the bottom of the totem pole, and nobody ever asked me to do anything inappropriate. I was so eager to succeed. I would have gotten people coffee as much as they wanted, to make sure that I made a good impression and that I was loyal and everything like that. You're just a kid. You don't know any better. And, but this is not, this type of disgusting journalism, anonymous sources and all the kind of thing. It's really hurting our democracy, because you don't know who to trust anymore. And, people wonder why, Donald Trump is being so successful right now in winning these PR wars. It's because the American people don't trust the mainstream and even the ancillary media anymore. They've got to go to your show and straight to the president's Twitter account. If you're a conservative and you want to trust something, you got to go directly to the source because everything else is a bunch of garbage. It's just really sad.
Well, it is what it is. If you've just joined us, 5th District, Tom Garrett is not going to run for re-election. The 5th District is going to have to get a Republican nominee. This is a Republican red district. Likely nominee is the likely winner, although the Democrats are going to put up a fight. They have a very well-funded candidate there. John, how does this process work now? Explain it.
So anytime that you have a vacancy in a official election district, whether it be a congressional district, Senate district, or delegate district, and you're past the filing deadline set by the state, the official committee makes the decision who the nominee is. And in this particular instance, each of our congressional districts has its own district Republican committee. So the 5th District Republican Committee consists of a chairman, 3 members of the state central committee that vote at the state level, and then each chairman of the individual localities, counties, and cities in the district. Those people will make the vote to determine who the next nominee is. And what happens is the chairman calls a meeting, and in this particular instance, there's only 7 days notice required to hold the meeting, so it can happen relatively quickly.
So there is the 5th District chairman. Who's that?
His name is Melvin Adams, the great gentleman out of southern part of Virginia, outside of Richmond. He's well aware of his responsibilities. I spoke to him yesterday, and he'll run a very fair and balanced process. And I think you're right. The nominee of this is going to win this race. I mean, the Democrats have nominated a huge anti-Semitic disaster for a candidate. And the district went +9 for Gillespie. So even if this alleged blue wave continues to build, we have the upper hand in holding this district going forward.
The nominee is the overwhelming favorite to be elected to Congress. Who are the 3 members of the state's central committee in that district?
Let's see. In the 5th district, you caught me with a.
All right, I'll wait on that.
Before I have my coffee.
So you've got. Do you know offhand, or we can move on? No big deal.
I'll think of it in a second. But yeah, the 5th District Committee is going to have. It's a large district. I think there's going to be over 30 votes total cast in this, and it's a pretty incredible amount of people you're going to have to persuade. This isn't a quick, easy race. This is an incredible amount of effort that you're going to have to do to run. You're not just going to decide who you're supporting or that you're going to run and then just assume you're going to have support. But now our 5th District Committee, there's actually Renee Maxey is one. She's a long time served on the State Central Committee for a long time. Ed Yensho, who doubles as the Greene County GOP chairman. Joanne Holden, who's a longtime activist. And then we have Travis Witt, who's just an incredible he's a pastor, just a good man, and Will Kirk, who's also a longtime activist. So we've got these 5 individuals plus the chair are going to help make the decision who it's going to be.
So when you add in the chairman of each individual city or unit within the 5th District, how many total members are there that if they all showed up would participate in the vote? Well,
I think there's 36 unit chairmen in the district, if I'm getting that correctly, and then so you really need 18 votes out of there. Plus, you've got the others in our district that you've got to persuade too. So it's an incredible amount of effort. You have to make these individual calls, and you can imagine, John, how many people you're going to have to persuade, just to get there. It's really incredible.
Let me just nail this down, John.
There's going to be multiple.
You got 36 unit chairmen in the 5th District, right? Mm-hmm. They'll participate in voting for a nominee. Then
plus the six members of the State Central Committee too.
Plus the 6 members of State Central, and does that include the chairman?
Well, typically under Robert's Rules of Order, the chairman only votes in the event of a tie.
Right, got it.
But the chairman has a choice. The chairman can vote, and very often does vote in something like this. But I didn't ask Chairman Adams what his intentions were, because I think that's his business.
All right,
so
you got
that's
you got a maximum of 43 members, right, that are going to be voting. 42 minimum, 43 maximum, depending on whether or not Melvin Adams decides to vote in the event of not a tie, just participate in it. So if you have 42, that means somebody is going to have to get to 21 votes in order to be the nominee, right? At least, if everybody shows up.
Right. And I think what will happen is the SIT District Committee will set rules beforehand about how it will go. For example, in a convention, if you don't get 50%, people drop off. But there's going to be an incredible amount of debate over that as well. So you may have a tremendous amount of effort going into how the rules are going to be written, because this is going to be like a mini convention. It's going to be representatives from each county having to do this, and I think it's really incredible how this is going to go, especially considering the importance of this nominee that we're nominating here in a fight of our lives to keep the House. Everybody's going to be watching this, and it's going to be cool to watch.
Chairman Whitbeck, would you anticipate that the rules would be such that you've got to get a majority in order to emerge from that as a nominee? Kind of like when they meet in Rome for a pope, right? And they put up the black smoke or white smoke. Wouldn't you anticipate that it would be a majority? Otherwise, with 10 candidates, somebody could win with 8 votes.
I think that's right. I think you will need to get a majority. And actually, John, let me correct myself. I think there's actually 36 total votes.
That's what I thought.
In the committee.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's right. And I'd forgotten about the VFRW, Young Republicans and College Republicans have a vote too. So you're really going through 36 people. So you're going to have to get 18 votes to get to 50%, and 18 plus 1 to 19 votes to win. Right.
So 19, they got a pool of 36 people. That's what I thought originally. So thanks for clarifying that, Mr. Chairman. You've got a pool of 36 votes. You're going to need 19 to get a majority and emerge as the nominee. Now, my other big question, I've only got a half a minute. Are you going to allow proxies?
Proxies are allowed for this meeting. There's nothing that would preclude proxy unless they had a pre-meeting and voted against it. But even then, I think that would violate our party plan and Robert's rules. I don't see any scenario where that doesn't happen.
All right. So look, these candidates now, the campaign, really, there's no mailers. I mean, there's no radio ads. There's no TV. There's no email. You got to pick up the phone and talk to and get to meet 36 people. And you got to get 19 of them in order to be the nominee. Simple, right? That's it.
That's it. And if you do that, you end up with a tremendous responsibility on your shoulders, holding a seat that we've got to hold, one that we should hold easily, but nonetheless, one that we're gonna take it very seriously. And the Republican Party of Virginia is going to be 110% behind the nominee, whoever that may be.
John Fredericks Radio Network, 36 votes of unit chairman, 19 votes needed to go to Congress and be the Republican nominee out of the 5th District, one of the most Republican seats in America. John Fredericks Radio Network, Trucking the Truth. John Whitbeck, thanks for being with us, John. Thank you.
Hey, take care.